There are reports of UFOs that can be questioned, but there are others that simply cannot be dismissed as mistakes or imagination. We're not talking about blurry videos recorded by random people. We're talking about footage captured by military radar, documented by advanced defense systems, and witnessed by experienced fighter pilots trained to recognize any conventional aircraft. In this video, you'll discover 8 UFO sightings that were confirmed by the military. Number 1. USS Omaha Sighting. On the night of July 15, 2019, the littoral combat ship USS Omaha was operating in a restricted training area off the coast of San Diego, California. The ship was monitoring the region when operators detected multiple unidentified aerial contacts around the vessel. Later records indicated that up to 14 objects were tracked at the same time, moving in a coordinated manner nearby. One object drew special attention. It was a perfectly round sphere, estimated to be about 2 meters in diameter. In the thermal footage, the object appears dark against the lighter background of the ocean. It hovers above the waves for a few moments and then slowly descends until it touches the surface of the sea. There is no visible impact. The sphere simply enters the ocean without disturbing the water and disappears from the thermal image. The video remained unknown to the public until May 2021 when it was released. Days later, a Pentagon spokesperson officially confirmed that the footage was authentic and had been recorded by US Navy personnel. Documents indicate that the Navy conducted searches in the area, including scans at the coordinates where the object entered the water, but no official recovery of debris was announced. The USS Omaha incident is often cited as an example of an event recorded by multiple military sensors at the same time.
So they would go where we are not, and where we are not is in the deep ocean.
Number 2. The Gimbal video. Between 2014 and 2015, U.S. Navy pilots operating from the aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt reported frequent encounters with unidentified objects off the east coast of the United States. Upgraded sensors began detecting targets that remained stationary against strong winds or moved in unusual ways. The video, known as Gimbal, was recorded by an infrared targeting system mounted on an FA-18 fighter jet. In the footage, an object can be seen apparently rotating on its own axis, while the pilots comment in the original audio about multiple contacts in the area. The surprise in their voices suggests that this was not a routine exercise. In 2017, the video was released to the public, and in 2020, the Department of Defense confirmed its authenticity. Later, US government reports began referring to these events using the term UAP. Despite analyses suggesting possible optical explanations or sensor limitations, the object recorded in the video remains officially classified as unidentified.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
Number 3. Japan Airlines Flight 1628. On November 17, 1986, Japan Airlines Cargo Flight 1628 was flying over Alaska when Captain Kenju Terauchi reported to air traffic control that 2 lights were following the aircraft. According to the pilot, the objects performed coordinated movements and maintained an unusual proximity to the plane. Shortly after, Terauchi described a third, much larger object, which he referred to as a mothership, comparing its size to a massive structure in the night sky. Air traffic controllers confirmed radar returns matching the reported positions, and the United States Air Force also recorded contacts during the incident. The case was investigated by the Federal Aviation Administration. Years later, documents and audio recordings were made public, revealing internal discussions about what had happened. Although alternative explanations were suggested, including possible radar echoes and atmospheric phenomena, the case remains one of the most well-documented incidents involving civil aviation and unidentified phenomena.
I said, well, you're going to tell the public about it. And he says, no, we don't tell the public about this. It would panic.
Number 4. Operation Prato. In 1977, residents of Colares Island in Pará, Brazil, began reporting lights descending from the sky at night and striking people with beams of light. Victims described a sensation of intense heat, small puncture marks on the skin, weakness, and dizziness. Many people started avoiding going outside after dark. As reports increased and pressure from the population grew, the Brazilian Air Force officially launched Operation Prato. The mission was led by Captain Wirangue Holanda, who coordinated a team sent to the region. For months, the military conducted nighttime surveillance, collected testimonies, and produced detailed technical reports, photographs, and drawings of the observed objects. In interviews given in the 1990s to researcher Ademar Jose Gevaerd, later made public, Holanda stated that he had also witnessed structured objects and intelligent behavior, including close-range approaches. In 1997, Hollande was found dead, with the official record stating that he had taken his own life. There is no evidence of external involvement. What remains confirmed are the official Air Force documents, the formal acknowledgement that a military investigation took place, and the technical reports produced in the region.
Ficou na nossa frente uma coisa assustadora, objeto muito grande.
If you enjoy mysterious facts like these, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss new videos, and leave a like if you're enjoying these cases. Number 5. The official UFO night. On the night of May 19, 1986, radar systems from Brazil's Integrated Air Defense and Air Traffic Control Center began detecting unknown targets across different parts of Brazil. At one point, more than 20 objects were being tracked simultaneously by both civilian and military systems. The Brazilian Air Force activated its interception protocol and deployed F-5 and Mirage fighter jets. Pilots reported unusual behavior. The objects accelerated rapidly, disappeared from radar, and reappeared in different positions. They made sudden changes in direction and at times seemed to follow the fighter jets themselves. The next day, the then Minister of Aeronautics, Brigadier Octavio Moreira Lima, held a press conference officially confirming that real interceptions had occurred and that the objects had not been identified. Radio recordings between pilots and air traffic control were later released, revealing the tension during the attempts to approach the objects.
Nós não conseguimos nem nos aproximar, muito menos identificar.
Number 6. The Belgian Wave. Between November 1989 and April 1990, hundreds of reports of silent triangular objects emerged in Belgium. Witnesses described dark structures with 3 white lights at the corners and a red light in the center. The Belgian Air Force began monitoring the situation and in March 1990 deployed 2 F-16 fighter jets for interception. The pilots managed to lock their radar onto the objects for brief periods. Data released later indicated sudden altitude changes recorded by the systems. The government held a press conference presenting technical information and confirming that there was no conclusive identification for the contacts. A widely circulated photograph from that time was later admitted to be a hoax by its author, which generated skepticism among part of the public. Even so, radar records, military testimonies, and official documents keep the Belgian Wave as one of the most well-documented cases in Europe involving unidentified aerial phenomena.
Speeds would be impossible to tolerate for a human being.
Number 7. The Tehran Incident. In the early hours of September 19, 1976, residents of Tehran began calling authorities, reporting an extremely bright light hovering over the city. The Imperial Iranian Air Force dispatched an F-4 Phantom fighter jet to intercept the object. As the aircraft approached, the pilot reported simultaneous failures in navigation and communication systems, forcing him to return. A second F-4 was sent. This pilot managed to get closer and described a luminous object with brightness comparable to a star. According to the military report, when he attempted to lock a missile onto the target, the weapon systems and control panel temporarily failed. As the aircraft moved away, the systems returned to normal. The event was recorded in official documents and later analyzed by the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, which classified it as one of the most significant military encounters involving unidentified aerial phenomena. Various hypotheses have been considered over the years, including astronomical phenomena and technical failures, but none have conclusively explained the case.
Jumped from here to here, just like that.
Number 8. The Tic Tac Case. In November 2004, the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group was conducting training exercises off the coast of California when the USS Princeton began detecting unusual contacts on its radar systems. It wasn't just a single signal. For several days, operators tracked objects appearing at over 20,000 meters of altitude, rapidly descending to near sea level, remaining stationary, and then disappearing. FA-18 fighter jets were dispatched to investigate. Commander David Fravor and pilot Alex Dietrich were given specific coordinates and headed to the location. When they arrived, they noticed a circular disturbance in the ocean, as if something large was just beneath the surface. Above it hovered a white object, smooth, with no wings, no windows, and no visible heat signature. Its shape resembled a Tic Tac candy, a nickname the pilots themselves began using. The term started circulating internally after the encounter, but only became public in 2017, when the New York Times revealed the existence of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program and published military videos related to the case. The footage had been recorded by infrared systems on the fighter jets and was later released by former officials connected to the Pentagon. In 2020, the US Department of Defense officially confirmed that the videos were authentic and that the objects remain classified as UAP. Even after technical analysis and alternative explanations, the event still has no definitive explanation.
There's no propulsion, there's no wings. It rapidly accelerates and disappears.
Out of all these cases, which one do you find the most intriguing? And make sure to check out the next video with 8 UFO cases that have never been explained.